what to think and what not to think before a wrestling match. This is probably what you're thinking. Number one is what not to think. Let's do that first. And I did this a lot. I was terrible in this area as a wrestler. Well, not terrible, but inconsistent, right? And a lot of you are that way as well, okay? And a lot of athletes are. That's the reason the professional famous athletes you watch on TV, they're working with performance coaches, right? There's famous presidents and leaders, and right, who work with people like Tony Robbins and stuff, right? These are people, there's multi-billionaires who have coaches who help them, right? So everyone needs coaching to do with their mindset, attitude, just to counsel them basically, right? And we also have a new mentoring program at purlerwrestling.com where we counsel you through the whole season, technically, mentally, weight loss wise, emotionally, strategy wise. So you can check that out as well. And we also have a video, it's called the Quick 180 program. We can turn you around quickly by watching about 25 or so of your matches, giving you back no less than 25 to 30 video clips. You know, some of us, you reach with your attack hand. That's why people are getting to your legs. You have your weights evenly distributed front and back. It shouldn't. You should have 60% of your weight in your front foot. Some of you move too much on bottom, which is taught. Some of you, which is not good. Some of you are going to hand control on bottom, which is not good. Hand control on bottom gets you beat. There's a strategy to go into hand control. You want to block the inside hole first, right? So there's some things we're going to be looking for in addition just to raw wrestling technique. And also some kids wrestle from positions they stood in. That's a low percentage position. Here's the two reasons why. And this is how to stalemate that, because when you get in this position, there's no good that can come of this for the most part. So those are some things we're looking at. If you had interest, you can check us out at purlerwrestling.com on that. But as far as what to think before a match, most of us do this. We think, we get nervous, right? Which is normal. Nervous isn't bad. But we allow it to fester and dwell. And pretty soon, our emotions are getting involved, right? And we also sometimes start to think about what our opponent is going to do or might do, right? Instead of what we're going to do. I always say this, very simple. Here's the secret. If a NASCAR driver is thinking about crashing and dying in a fiery car crash, which could happen, he is not going to be or maybe she, is not going to be a very good race car driver. If they're thinking about crossing the finish line, popping the champagne, having the confetti fly on them, holding up a $5 million check, right? Having their endorsers throw hats on them, going around the night show circuit and getting to hang out with the night show hosts and being famous and getting to write books and having people pat him on the back. Dude, that guy's going to be a good race car driver. How about a baseball player? If you're thinking about getting hit in the face with a baseball, you're not going to be a very good baseball player from the plate. If you're thinking about crushing grand slams and home runs and line drives, sliding into second place, stealing home, right? And you're thinking about RBIs and being famous and having the internet talk about you and having the college scholarships dump on you and having the school, having the announcements Monday at school. I want the announcements talking about the big game and how I crushed 3 home runs. I mean, I don't know. You get emotionally invested in your success, not emotionally invested in what could happen. That's pretty much a secret. Don't think about crashing. Think about winning the race. Don't think about getting hit in the face with a baseball. Think about crushing home runs and line drives and grand slams and being something worth talking about. That's pretty much a secret. Same way in wrestling. So learn to evaluate your thoughts so that your thoughts don't go off into the ditch, because that can happen very often. But a lot of times that's what you're doing. You've engaged in these thoughts for 30 minutes to 2-3 hours worrying, right? Sometimes days before a dual meet, right? You have the state champion Thursday. Here we are Monday. I know I've got the state champ Thursday. And what do? You spend 4 days. And then by the time the season, the tournament comes or the competition, you're emotionally dead, right? That's not good because you've worried, right? And your body dumps stress hormones, which are poison. You've poisoned yourself. We call it don't drink the poison, all right? You've seen our other videos, and we're uploading all this MP3. All right, I used to have this. It's pretty phenomenal, actually. It's a CD-ROM. We used to have available, but we're putting all the MP3 clips. It's free and everything. It's on purlerwrestling.com. Should be up within a week. Everything from coaching to parenting to 150 different topics for a wrestler. Our YouTube channel has 750 videos like this. You can check that out too. I have a book, The Purler Way. It's on Amazon. It's like $20. It's basically a sports psychology, success performance book for wrestling if you wanted to look at that. But what happens, I think, oftentimes is we drink the poison, don't we? All right? And there's chapters on this about not drinking the poison, because once you drink the poison, you allow yourself to get poison, your thoughts to poison your own body. Now you have to go through all of these relaxation exercises and all of this stuff. And a lot of the, I guess, sports psychology side of wrestling has to do with how to fix people who are poisoned, who have poisoned themselves. Our goal is not to poison ourselves to begin with, right? We learn to control our thoughts. When I start to find myself thinking about getting hit in the face with a baseball, I got to stop and turn my thoughts, you know? When I start thinking about the possibility of getting taken down or not accomplishing my dream of being the state champion, I have to learn to stop and start replacing those thoughts. Your mind can only think about one thing at a time. I need to focus on the one thing I want to think about, right? Because then, if I'm thinking about this, I'm not allowed to think about this. Your brain was not allowed to think about more than one thing at a time. Now, you can think 1,000 things a minute, but you can't think more than one thought at a time. So learning the habits of choosing your thoughts, okay, is very important. And I learned a story, an Olympic champion years ago, 30 years ago. He got to where he would wear a rubber band. This is the story I heard. And every time he noticed the rubber band, it reminded him to look back and say, where are my thoughts at? And his thoughts weren't good, he would snap himself right in the bottom of the wrist and start engaging in a positive self-talk exercise, just flooding his mind with thoughts of greatness. And that would be an awesome exercise for some of you, okay? But what we do is we allow ourselves to get poisoned, and then we try to cover that up and get ready for the match by listening to hype up music, maybe some heavy metal or rap music. We get all amped up, fired up, psyched up, which you should, right? But you're basically just dumping that on top of poison, all right? It's like there's poison in here, then you pour a little fresh spring water on top. It's still poison, all right? It's mixed up, it's diluted, right? That's how most of us do it. How you should do it is, number one, you want to control your thoughts so you don't allow yourself to get poisoned anyway. Number two, you think good thoughts, right? That's it. I read this book, Competitive Fire, I think it was. It's very cool. And it talks about the best athletes, whether they know it or not. And not all of them are Olympic champions, right? Not every successful business person is a billionaire. Not every successful student who has a master's degree got a 4.0, right? They're not a failure. They have a master's degree, right? So all the successful people, very successful, according to this book, whether they know it or not, they're masters at controlling their blood chemistry, right? It's because, if you allow yourself to get stressed out, then all these negative things take place inside from, I guess, biochemistry standpoint. So we never want to get there to begin with. And one of the best ways to do it, it's called gratitude, right? You hear about it all the time. It's a big phrase now. But basically, it's just staying happy. Think happy thoughts, right? And you'll see Penn State seems to really have this all figured out. And the best wrestlers do too. Sometimes the ones walking around all angry and upset, sometimes they might be the least prepared. The guys who are relaxed, maybe smiling, see, they're taught to stay in a happy state, because when you look at this diagram that I saw in this book, people who have love and joy and happiness, when they're feeling the love, joy, and happiness, their blood chemistry is is it's perfect, right? All the different positive hormones are spiking. The negative ones are almost non-existent, right? So that's the reason you see a lot about staying in the present moment, stay happy, force yourself to smile. Kel Sanderson says, we're going to go into the match and we're going to be ready to throw down, but we're going to have a smile on our face the entire time. And I think that's probably why, right? He's probably kind of more at the cutting edge of helping his athletes to not allow themselves to get all poisoned inside to begin with. So I would encourage you to take that advice. So don't drink the poison. Don't avoid negative thoughts that can ruin your chances of success, and then try to cover that up with just getting angry and mad, because that doesn't work. You want to be happy and excited and think about, man, I love being here. I got my teammates, my coach is cool. We had a nice bus ride. Sure, maybe I feel like crap because I'm cutting weight, but that's okay. My weight's good. I only got to lose a pound when I get there. I can do that. After I make weight, my parents are going to show up. That's always cool. I got 2 easy matches tonight. Easy match in the morning. The semis are tomorrow night. I'm looking forward to that. I just got to get these first 3 matches out of my way. I think I can win this tournament. My girlfriend's here watching. I don't know, right? Just start thinking all the happy thoughts and things and try to stay in that state so you don't get poisoned to begin with. Then right before the match, you start engaging in the positive thoughts, being excited, getting amped up, listening to the music and things. If that's part of your routine, that's a good thing, right? But there's my tips on how to get ready for a match, and good luck to you guys.